Hey guys, Dr. Jason here again with Chiro Evolution, shooting out the next video of our series. So recapping, a couple weeks ago we went over the spine and a little bit about that. So we went over how it has three curvatures. It has our cervical curve, our thoracic curve, and our lumbar curve. And these curves are very important for the prolonging of our spine's health. Right? They act as the shock absorbers, keeping our body healthy. We also went over the nervous system and how it controls every function in our body, from our heart beating to our lungs breathing, to our food digesting in our stomach, and how none of that would be possible without our nervous system. So we went over how the spine, in between each level of the bones, has these different nerves that exit and go out to every muscle, cell, tissue, and organ in the body. So that's how those two correlate together. So going over our autonomic chart again, we have our brain up here in our skull, which then turns into our spinal cord and goes all the way down the spinal column, carrying very specific messages to these different organs, such as our heart, our lungs, our upper digestive tract, our lower digestive tract. So we call this ADIO in chiropractic. So that means everything in life is flowing from above in the brain, down the spinal cord, inside and out to the organs, right? So that is what we are paying attention to when we are talking about chiropractic and the nervous system. So that gets me into what I want to talk about today. Today we are talking about subluxations. So what is a subluxation? A subluxation is basically just misalignment of one or more bones on top of each other, and that's going to place pressure on those nerves. So going to our spine model, we have our bones, which should be properly aligned if you're looking at it from front to back. Now when these bones are properly aligned, these nerves can exit freely in between these levels. Now what can happen is sometimes these bones can shift out of proper alignment. So when that happens, this nerve doesn't have as much room as it needs to flow freely. So that message that the brain was sending doesn't get out to the body the way it was supposed to. So in essence, that is what a subluxation is. Misalignment of a bone causing interference to the nervous system, not letting the brain and the body communicate the way that they're supposed to be communicating. So how do we get these subluxations? We get subluxations a variety of ways. The three main ways are through traumas, thoughts, and toxins. So traumas would be things like accidents, trips, falls, playing sports, or also repetitive motions. So in our society, we are very computer-based, so that constant hunched over posture is going to lead to some repetitive motion traumas. Another thing is text neck. So our kids younger than me are already having arthritis in their neck just from looking down at their phone constantly, right? That text neck kind of posture. It's also from things like sitting in a car all day, driving, guys sitting on a wallet. That repetitive trauma is going to lead to these subluxations. Going into thoughts of how we get subluxations this way is we also live in a society that we're very stressed, right? We constantly have bills to pay, kids to take care of, work, deadlines, traffic, you name it. Something is stressing our body out. We're constantly thinking about these things, these negative thoughts, and it's going to weaken our body's ability to adapt, which can lead to these subluxations. The third way is through toxins. We eat, things that we drink, the air that we breathe. These all have different chemicals and pollutants in it, and that's going to weaken our body's ability to adapt as well. I want to kind of point on one main way that we get subluxations is actually through the birthing process. Very surprising, but the birthing process is very traumatic on mom and baby. So if you've ever seen a birth or have read about it, you know there's a lot of pulling and twisting on the baby's head and neck, which is life-saving to get that baby out. But there's not a lot of muscle or ligament stability there, so it's easy to kind of see how those bones can shift out of proper alignment, causing that subluxation. And then if it's not checked from there, it can just continue to grow. As kids get older, they start to walk, they fall down, they bump their heads into things. So this is why we also see kids in the office. In later videos, we will be going over the effects of subluxations, how we find subluxations in our office, and what we do to get rid of them to help your body function at its best ability. But until then, have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. See you guys next week.